All right, so the first thing to do in order to create our YouTube ads campaign is to upload a video on YouTube, okay? And of course, you've got to have a YouTube channel first. And if you don't know how to do that, you basically have to go to your YouTube account, click on the icon, and you will see somewhere here that it will say create your channel, okay? As you can see, I've already got a channel, Baby Race Academy, which is the racing team that we've got, as I said, a karting racing team. And that's, as you can see, by the way, the channel, we got 20,000 views for one video and 18,000 views for the second one, okay? And you will go there and say, create the channel, and then you will have to upload your first video, okay? You upload your first video, and then we will be able to get started, okay? If you don't know how to create a great video, you can go over to Fiverr.com. They offer some really good video editing services, okay? You can send some clips of yours, and they will edit them in a very professional way for some really affordable price. You can see 9 euros, which is around $10. You see 17 euros, around $20, and they will do a really good job for you. I use them so many times. And you can get done. You can get done a video explainer otherwise. So if you've got a company and you want to create a video explainer for your company or the service you're offering, you can go out there. And again, they're really affordable. This guy offers a $20 video explainer. This guy is around $85. Okay, it depends on what you choose and it depends on the length of the video. But just go out there and try yourself. But first thing you want to do is to create your YouTube channel and upload your first video so that we can go and get started on delivering our first YouTube ads campaign. Let's go to the next step. Okay, so after having uploaded our video, what we need to go is to go to our Google Ads campaign and create our campaign from there. Okay, so you might be confused and wonder, how come I have to go on Google Ads to create my YouTube ads campaign? I mean, like, why is this? Well, I was pretty confused at first as well, like a few years ago when I learned about it. But that's the way it is. You just have to go to Google Ads and create your campaign from there. As you know, Google is the owner of YouTube. They purchased it for more than $1 billion back in the days, and so now they own it. And so that's, I think, a smart way to do. They just like put the platforms together, and so you can, if you want to advertise on YouTube, you have to go through the Google Ads account. So let's go here. This is my Google Ads account, and as you can see, this is the stats from today. I am sponsoring these two ads, the one you've seen here, and they're converting really well, I have to say. In the last 7 days, I was able to get 17,000 views for an average CPV of is less than 1 cent, which is like incredible, with a view rate of 15%. And as you can see, the CPM is down 0.61 and 0.67. So again, really valuable, and spent in total less than $75. So really well, going really well. So let's just go and create a new campaign, and we will be redirected to that. And as you can see, here is our choice. So basically what we'll have to do is to go and say product and brand consideration, okay? Or you can go here and create a campaign without a goals guidance. You can just go here and go and click video, okay? You click video and it will take you to all of the campaign subtype that you want to do. Now you can choose each one of them, but what we'll do is to go through the custom video campaign, okay? And that will help us to really go and break down step by step what we gotta do. Okay, so having said that, let's now discuss what is the best campaign subtype to choose. Alright, so after having selected the video ad campaign, we have to go down here and select the campaign subtype. So what I do 99% of the time is to select the custom video campaign, because I like to do everything from scratch. Okay, so when you select the custom video campaign, it will allow you to start from scratch and I encourage you to do that as well, and that's what we will do in this video course. Okay, so but let's just quickly have a look at what these ones do. So the non-skippable in-stream is the one that is only is less than 15 seconds and it's not skippable. You probably have seen it yourself. What this is for is more about building awareness, okay, like tons of awareness. They don't really care about conversions and clicks, and that's usually for like new brands trying to expand their reach as much as possible, but also for existing brands. Like I used to see it a lot for like apparel brands, for financial companies like eTours. So there's different ones. Like you gotta be careful, I think, with this campaign subtype, because it's easy to annoy people because you're not able to, basically the consumer is not able to skip it, so it's by definition non-skippable. And so you gotta be careful, that your ad has to be good, because otherwise people will really get really pissed. Like I think Apple is really good at this. They do a lot of non-skippable in-stream ads. You probably have seen them yourself, and I think they're really, really good. Also some other like brands like Mercedes, Volkswagen, they do it a lot. So as you can see, it's, I think, more for them than for us smaller markets, smaller businesses. So then we go to the outstream, and that is basically as the word says, pushing your video into external channels, so like into external apps, into external websites, okay? And I don't really like to use that because, okay, yeah, you've got less competition there, but you tend to have less quality for your views and for your clicks. Sometimes you have a lot of clicks, a lot of interactions for a low price, but they never tend to convert. So like, okay, that was my experience, but that's, to be honest, what's happening the most usually with Outstream, and I don't really like using it. Then there's Drive Conversions. Then this is a TrueView campaign, okay, which is again more than 15 seconds, and again they are skippable, like differently from the non-skippable ones. So it's very similar to what we're going to do later with the custom video campaign. The only difference is that it's really catered towards conversions. Like everything is very maximized towards conversion, and you gotta have conversion metrics. That's not difficult to do, but considering that this video course is about a beginner YouTube ads, we are not gonna look into conversions, okay? That's more an advanced skill to master. Then we got into ad sequence. Again, I don't use it very often. Actually, never used it in the last couple of years. But the reason for that is because you gotta try to. It's basically, as it says, it's a sequence of ads. So you're using it really like you want to tell a story to your viewers. So like you want to send him video, like you want him to see different videos different times, so that you can, like if you need to take him from one place to the other in terms of awareness, you want him to explain your product, perhaps it's difficult to understand, that's good if you want to do that, if you want to achieve that. But and it's better for ad fatigue, so that your ad is not consistently shown to the same people. It's that for that regard, it's gonna be less boring, so perhaps people will be more engaged. But you gotta be always careful that people do not get confused, because they might be seeing something different all the time. So sometimes it's better to see the same ad over and over again, because you're able to understand what the company is about. So, and then there's the shopping one, which is more about, again, driving conversions, but you gotta have a merchant center account. So again, that's more of an advanced, and it's really catered towards conversions, okay? So after having said that, let's go to the next lecture, and we'll go deeper into building our YouTube ads campaign. Alright, so in this lecture, we will go through the general settings of our custom video ad campaign, alright? So let's go through the first item, which is the campaign name. We can either leave it default, or we can just change it. So like, let's just try and change it. We can call it video ad number 1, right? And we're gonna close it. And the next one is the bid strategy. Now this is really important. YouTube here is asking you, are you more interested in impressions, so the target CPM, cost per mil, target cost per mil, or in views, so the maximum CPV? So again, is asking you, are you willing to get more reach? So using the CPM, so the cost per mil feature, or are you more willing to get views? So do you want to get more views out of it? So it is asking you this because based on what you choose, the YouTube algorithm will decide how to manage your ad. So again, if you want to get a lot of impressions, he will send the ad to people that will, likely give you more impressions. Whereas if you are going to select the maximum CPV, it will give it to people that are likely to view your ad as much as possible. So we have to make a very important distinction. Considering that we have the true view, okay, so true view stands for really the fact that a view is counted only if the user is watching the ad for more than 30 seconds. 30 seconds. So if the viewer is watching the ad for less than 30 seconds, so even up to 29, they will not charge you anything. YouTube will not charge you anything for that, okay? Only after, so let's say your ad is 3 minutes long, okay? Then what will happen is that if the user is watching until 2 minutes or 3 minutes or 1 minute 30, you will be charged, okay? You will be charged for that view. Whereas if you watches like up to 20 seconds, 25 seconds, or 15 seconds, you will not get charged, okay? They would have the chance to skip it up to 5 seconds, like every skippable app. This one is a skippable app, so just bear in mind. Of course, your video will have to be longer than 30 seconds because otherwise YouTube will not allow you to advertise on that, but that's the thing. More than 30 seconds, you get charged. Less than 30 seconds, you don't get charged if you choose the CPV strategy, okay? And that is basically it. A view is counted after 30 seconds. So as you can see here, with maximum CPV, you set the most that you're willing to pay each time your ad is viewed, okay? And you can create, you can create skippable, in-stream, or discover ads, all right? So usually what I do is to have a $0.01, which is only 1 penny for a view. I am able to get a lot less than that using a maximum, like a target CPM, and we will see later. I'm able to get a half of a penny, so it's like $0.005 dollar. And because this strategy, as you can see here, with target CPM, you set the average amount that you're willing to pay for every 1,000 times that your ad is shown. From the target CPM, you set will optimize the bids to get as many unique reach as possible, okay? As much reach as possible. So, okay, some impression may cost more and less than your target, but here's the thing. That is, in my opinion, better if you're really trying to push your brand, try to push your awareness as much as possible to people. That is the best thing to do, okay? Because more people will see it, they will get more interactions, they will get more impressions, okay? And I know it might be quite confusing. It's not so easy to understand the differences between CPM and CPV. If you want that, please just leave me a comment. You just leave me or just either send me a message or just leave a review and let me know. I will try to make it more clear for the other students, okay? So but that's definitely an important thing to understand, okay? So CPM is based on impressions, CPV is based on how much you're willing to spend per view, okay? So that could be 1 cent, like 1 penny, 2 penny, 3 pennies, 5 pennies per view, but let's in this case select target CPM, okay? Now here we'll ask you based on budget and dates whether you want to pay for the campaign, okay? So the total amount based on the campaign. So let's say your campaigns last 10 days and you set $50, it will automatically estimate $5 per day. Look, if you set set $50 and you say 14 August to 24th of August, you'll see for the 4.55, of course, because it's including the one from today, but on average around $5 per day, sorry, €5 per day. But let's just pretend I want to do the daily one, okay? It just say start date. I usually like to do it the day after so that you can start from scratch at midnight, and I can say, right, just $5. And that's usually a good amount to start. With $5, you can get a huge amount of cost, like impressions and a huge amount of views. You can get around 1,000 views with $5 if you do the right things. and of course it depends on the countries you target and stuff like that, but I'm able to do that targeting, not so wealthy countries. So, but that's a strategy to get more views and impressions, and but that's we will talk about it later in our lecture. So let's just do this, all right? And you can either select ends at 24th of August, 31st, or you can just select none. Okay, in this case, let's just do 31st first, so that whatever happens at 31st of August, you're not gonna, it's gonna stop billing you. Okay, it's gonna stop charging you. Okay, and as you can see, you won't pay more than your daily budget times the average number of days. So perhaps in one day it might charge you $5.50. Okay, but the next day will instead charge for €4.50. It's, as it says, perhaps in one single day it can charge more than $5, but what it will assure you is that over the period of time that you have selected, it's never going to spend more than what you have set, okay, in total. So, and then here is the very important part, which is networks, and we are going to see this in the next lecture. All right, so next we have to select our networks and locations, okay? Let's go with networks first. We can decide between the YouTube search results, YouTube videos, and video partners of the display network. So YouTube videos is by default, you cannot unclick it, okay? And as you can see, ads can appear in YouTube videos, channel pages, and the YouTube homepage, okay? That is easy to comprehend. That is exactly what we need, okay? Whereas the YouTube search results is not allowed for us to be clicked because it is only available for responsive and video discovery ad types, which is not our case. And then we have the video partners on the display network. Now, I do not advise you to click this one. As you can see, as default, it is clicked by YouTube, but you do not want to use it because, well, in my case, in my experience, I've seen this giving you a lot of clicks, a lot of views and impressions from sources that have very low quality. Okay, so let's have a look. With what they mean with video partners are those websites, those apps, and many games really that have video YouTube videos embedded, and so they are going to say, okay, we are going to share your ad also on these platforms. But I disagree with using them because it's going to give you more impressions, more reach, but really they're going to give, well, you'll have to pay anyways for those impressions and views and reach, okay? But the thing is that, yeah, it might bring down the average cost because the quality is lower. Sometimes people really click on the video or like have a look at video just by mistake, right? And this is gonna give you a lot of low quality videos, views, or impressions or clicks. So this is important to bear in mind. As you can see, video partners extend the reach of video ads to collect sites and apps in the Google Display Network. Including video partners will help you reach new audiences outside YouTube. Okay, but that's not the case. Well, it is the case. Well, what they say, it's true. Don't get me wrong. But as I said, it takes a lot of quality off when it gives you more impressions. So I would go without it, okay? So you will just use YouTube videos. Now let's go to locations. Okay, so we can either choose all countries and territories. Either we can have like a default country, or we can enter our location, okay? So we can perhaps select USA. We can either have it as a targeted location, or we can exclude it, okay? So let me just say Italy. If you wanted to go that, instead of target, we will click excluded, and you can see you can have both the targeted and excluded locations. All right. Now we will see later on what to do, but I would go first with let's just say all countries and territories. Why? Because if you are targeting a very small niche, okay, if your industry is very small and inside your industry you go into an even smaller vertical, into an even smaller niche that does not have a lot of searches, you do not want to restrict the location too much, because otherwise you are not going to get any clicks at all, okay? Especially for the bidding that you select later, which is what we were going to do later in another lecture, okay? So if you're going to target worldwide, okay, all countries and territories, at the beginning it's better in my opinion, so that you can get more data and see where your traffic, where your where impressions, where your views are coming from, so that then you can decide what to exclude, right, and so on and so forth. So I would go with that. Now in the next one, well, and now we're gonna also look at languages. So you could go with the starter English, or you can just select all languages, which is again what I like to do. So this is the languages that your customers speak, all right? So again, if your niche is very small and international, all right, it's small but international, like it is racing, go-karting for my case. If it's international, you would go with this. So all languages, okay? So language targeting allows you to restrict where your ads can appear based on the user's language settings and language of the site. Ads can be shown to people understand any, but as you can, now let me make a quick note. If let's say your customer, okay, if your viewer is, I don't know, in Brazil, but in his preferences, in his settings, in his Google settings, he's got English as his default language, even though he might be like a native Brazilian speaker, like a Portuguese language speaker, which is what you speak in Brazil, right? And it will still have the everything in English if you set the default language as English. Therefore, if you type Portuguese, you will not see it because his setting it will be in English. All right. I hope I didn't confuse you, but so it does not depend on the country of where your customer is from, but it depends on what he has on his language setting. Okay. So having said that, we will go now through the inventory type, ad group name, and also we'll go through all of the other things in the following lecture. All right, so if we scroll down, we're gonna see that it's going to appear the ad group section, and it asks us, but first of all, if we want to skip it, and so if we want to skip the ad group and the ad creation, all right? So I know this is what a lot of people do when beginners, but I would like to go through this because it's going to give you a lot of understanding of what we do, okay? So if you click this, it's going to take you to skip, and you're gonna create the campaign straight away with the video and stuff. But I would advise you to go and add a group so that you can create your own ad group and so on and so forth, okay? So that you can really understand what this is all about, so that we can go into the demographics, into the keywords, topics, placement, and the bidding, okay? So let's have a look at real quick. Again, the ad group name, we can again say ad group number 1, because by the way, you can create different kind of ad groups. By the way, let's start to keep this in mind. This is the amount of impressions. Right now, it got 10 plus billion of impressions, and this is based on your campaign settings, but not your budget or bid, okay? You're not gonna get 10 billion of impressions based on your budget, okay? This is just the amount of impressions based on the languages, based on the type of inventory, based on the location, okay, based on the networks, okay, based on all of this. And this is about, again, the available impressions, all right? So remember the cost per impression we were talking about. So that is what we were going through, and let's have a look at the demographics, okay? Now, this is gonna be interesting. This is regarding the age, okay, the age, the parental status, the gender, and the household income, okay? Now again, if your niche is particularly small and so you cannot exclude too many things, then that is really the best thing to do. Do not exclude too many things, and I would suggest to start out with a bit more of a broad general perspective, and then see what is converting better, what is giving you more like click-through rate, like view-through rate, so that you can see which gender, which age, which parental status, and which household income is more engaged, so that you can exclude the ones who are not engaged and kind of put all of your eggs, so it's going all into what is converting better, okay? So I hope I was clear with that. So I would suggest you keeping all this as it is, all right? And again, unless your brand specifically is catering towards only like females, in that case I would just go with females, right? And perhaps unknown, because sometimes, as you can see here, the unknown is people who have not defined themselves yet, okay? Because sometimes in the settings people are not really showing to Google gender they are. So when that's the case, you will fall into the unknowns, all right? So instead of, if you want to go into female, you're sure you're going to get all the females, right? Like the females will be targeted. But if you exclude the unknowns, you're going to also exclude some females, because again, some people will not have defined themselves in terms of gender, or perhaps in terms of age, and that's why we got the unknown, okay? As you can see, it's really something that it's not being defined by the user, right? Or maybe Google wasn't able to classify, okay? So that's the thing. By the way, household income, you can get it only for the US market. So if you're targeting Italy, for example, you cannot get a household income. So you can keep it on, but it's not going to show you anything. So having said that, let's just add everything up, right? And yeah, exactly. Well, I was wrong. It's not only for the US market, but let's have a look at it. Yeah, because I work a lot for the US market. So let's just quickly have a look what I talk about. So household income is usually, yeah, you can see for Gmail campaigns, for display campaigns, let's see, okay, video campaigns, here you got household income available in Australia, Brazil, Canada, Colombia, Hong Kong, India, Indonesia, Israel, Japan, Malaysia, Mexico, all of these ones, right? And you can really see which one, top 10, 11, 20, 21, 30, 31, 40, 41, 50%, okay, lower. Okay, and so that's basically, if you're targeting countries from this household, from this list, then you will be able to see the household income. Okay, so as I said before, in my case, Italy is not in, but for example, the USA were in. So that was what I was interested towards. Right, and now let's quickly have a look also at the audience segments. And now this is also really important, okay? Because this will tell, of course, YouTube who should see your ads based on the audience, okay? So you can create new audience in the audience manager, okay? Which is like creating like it's like you can retarget people. So if you have that's basically the concept of remarketing or retargeting. If you have like the Google Pixel, the Facebook Pixel that allows you to really track the user, you're able to retarget him, and you can use YouTube videos to retarget him, okay? And so basically that's what I've been using, okay? So motorsport enthusiasts, motorcycle enthusiasts, motorcycle, you see, it's already giving me this, right? So in this case, if we're doing an example, like let's do the example of my video. In this case, I would take off the females, okay? And that's the only thing I would do. And then I can either look into the motorsport enthusiast, all right, because I don't care about the motorcycle, because go-karts is in motorsport. And so because of course, and you can see it's already come down from 10 billion to 7.7, right? And you can also browse them. You can see who they are in terms of detailed demographics, with their interests and habits. You can see banking, finance, beauty and wellness. You can go into who they are, so the parental status, the marital status, the education. You can go into what they're actively searching or planning. You see life events, perhaps like they're changing a job, marriage, moving, new pet, but business creation, or they can do like clothing, accessories, in market segments, so arts and crafts, supplies. I do not like to do that, to be honest, so much. I don't even like to click on this. I prefer just going and targeting on the keywords. And that's what we are going to talk in the next lecture, because I see that keywords are better for my results, and that's the reason why I'm going to do this in the next lecture. All right, so let's have a quick look at what inventory means and what we have to do with it. Okay, so as you can say, content exclusion, define where your ads can show. All right, so in this case, it will ask you inventory type. If you click it, it says start inventory, but if you can click it, it will give you three options. All right, look. Expanded inventory, limited inventory, and standard inventory. As you can see, this expanded will maximize all available inventory by showing ads on some sensitive content, right? Like videos underage, or like those you can see excessive profanity, graphical sexual context, graphical violence, serious injury, so on and so forth. And limited inventory, the one which has moderate profanity, moderate, sexually suggested. So it's more like it's more again, as it says, limited. Okay, so you should go with standard. Okay, then it depends. You can see here, compare inventory types, and you can go into detail, but I like to go to standard at first, and because I don't like to have my ads in front of expanded inventory, so into extreme profanity videos. But that's, again, you gotta try out yourself, and you can see, you should look at this, and depending on what's your offer, what your ad is for, you can decide. Okay, but yeah, so this is what we mean with inventory type. I would just go with the standard. I've always gone with the standard, and it was working pretty well, but of course it depends. And again, it asks you if you want to exclude types and labels. All right, now I usually like to exclude embedded YouTube videos and live streaming videos. That is usually what I like to untick, whereas these ones I'm going to keep them, and also it automatically exclude content not yet labeled. So I like to do that, and again, it will ask related videos, and it says these are related to your video ads to help increase engagement, but I usually don't touch anything here, because it says it wants to do this to provide an immersive video experience or to reinforce your ads message, but I like to keep this default. So having said that, now we will go into detail of what the ad group is about and how we are going to deal with demographics, into keywords, topics, placements, and the bidding into the next lectures. All right, so now we're going to talk about keywords, topics, and placements. All right, so here we've talked about the audience segment, all right, the people, all right, so who we want to reach. Okay, so who you want to reach. Okay, so the audience segment and the demographics. Okay, whereas now we want to look at where you want your ads to be shown. Okay, and this is really, really important. Okay, so you want to show this to people who are really, who have been searching for this term, for these keywords, and I'm going to paste them here. So I would say, go-kart, karting, go-kart racing, so on and so forth. As you can see, this is still very let's say go-kart, tracks, kids go-kart, so on and so forth. A go-kart near me. Okay, usually that tends to be a pretty big term in my niche. So as you can see, I'm gonna click to this, and I can also get keywords ideas. Basically, if I go and look for let's just go through one of the websites that is very famous. It's called the CIKFIA. It's basically the World Championship site for go-karting, and you go through this. You are going to click it, and yeah, sorry for the slow internet, but let's just copy the link here, and it's going to give us some ideas. All right, and it's going, yeah, you can add all ideas. You see karting, car racing. You're gonna add all ideas, and that's gonna be a lot. Okay, and removal. So let me just remove this one, because it says here it's a bit of a problem. Now that is fine. Okay, we are just going to have all of these keywords, and you can see it went down from 10 billion to 580 million impressions, right? That is considerably less, but it's better because we have more targeted people. Okay, then we go into topics, and it asks us again, but what I've seen is that if you do keywords plus topics plus placements, it's going to narrow down so much. Okay, let's just make an example. If I click on, let's say, sports, right? You see it's gonna come down massively from 580 million. It usually comes down, yeah, already it's nearly half. Okay. And by the way, I can also look for more into detail, like motorsports. Okay, so it will go down even further. But that's the thing. You see, it went down tenfold, like from 580 to 444. Okay, motorsports, it makes it even more targeted. But to be honest, that will limit our ability to have very low CPM and CPVs. So it usually brings higher the cost, like brings up the cost. So that's the reason why I like to keep it pretty clean. So I just use the keywords, and that's as I said, you can, because you can see if you put so many layers, it's like one layer, second layer, and third layer, okay? And then if you at the end of the third layer, let's just pretend that again we select motorsports, and then we are going to use placements. So placements here is the either the YouTube channels or the videos or the websites that people have been going, have been searched online. And here we can enter everything in bulk. So we can enter the channels, the videos, the website, everything will be added in bulk. So let's say that in this case we're going to we're just going to click all the go-kart channels. Let's go here, YouTube channels. We just click go-kart. And of course, I've got a spreadsheet with all of my channels, but let's, for the sake of transparency, let's just do it all together. And we're adding them all right? Of course, they don't look so big, but let's see what happens now. I've selected so many of them. Let's add this one. It's a pretty big one. So if we click, you see it's already down to 340k impressions. Now with this one will be even more. It will go up to 570. But you see, by having these three different layers, it is now really down to only 500,000 impressions. You remember it was from 44 million, and now it's down, not 580 million, okay, and now it's down to all of these impressions, right? Let's just try to take off the motorsports and see what happens. You can see it will go more than that for sure, and you see it just went 740k. But because again we have all of these channels, so again the impressions will be very low. And so in order for you to if you want to have a 0.6 CPM, which is what I have right now, okay, you're gonna struggle, because wait, let's just do it. Sometimes it does not update very, very quickly. As you can see, it takes a little bit of time, but that is going to be one thing. So if you're gonna get rid of the channels again, so that you are not targeting any kind of channel, you'll see it will go back to 580 million. Okay, so that's where we were at the beginning. So either we add them back up. Okay, so if we add all of the channels back, sorry for that, but I want to go into detail with you so that you can understand what I'm talking about. Okay, really forgive me. I hope I'm being clear, but let's pretend they are back into our list. Okay, I'm not even screening them. You shouldn't do this, by the way. You should really take your time to understand what you're adding, because something might not be even relevant. But let's just say okay, let's just add this one back up, which was really relevant. Okay, let's just have this. If we get rid of all of these keywords, you will see it will shoot to the moon, right? You will see. Let's get rid of all of the keywords and see what happens right now. You see 4.7 million. Okay, it's 4.6, sorry. So you can see we've gone up to 4.6 million impressions right now, and so that is the key thing. If you just remember, if you have these three different layers, it's going to go down so much with impressions, and of course the cost is going to go higher. Okay, so but if you have only one of the three, it's going to give you more impressions, the price is going to be usually lower, and so on and so forth. So whatever you do, you just make sure that you target placements that are going to be relevant for your customers, for your target customers, so for your viewers. You either have relevant placements, relevant topics, or relevant keywords. What I like to do most is keywords or placements. I don't tend to like topics so much, even though, look, as you can see from here, they usually are really good at topics. So you can see topics targeting is a simple way to place your ads on many web pages, apps, and videos about a specific subject. That is the problem, because sometimes the apps that they give you, they are not going to be so good. So the quality is not going to be so great, and therefore you might end up again with a lot of views and a lot of impressions, but low conversion. So the only way to do that is to control them through either keywords or placements. But again, the one probably who's best is placements, because With placements, you know exactly who's going to get the ad in front. Okay, so if I'm looking at this WTF1 channel, which is really really strong in the motorsport niche, okay, you are going to get really targeted impressions. But of course, usually the price is higher. Okay, so you pay the price and that you search, whereas this one is a lot broader, and so it will allow you to get a lower price. Okay, I hope I was clear, and now we'll go into the bidding for the last lecture before then switching into creating our campaign. All right, so let's talk about the bidding. Okay, as you remember, we had selected the CPM goal back here. Remember CPM. And so remember, CPM stands for cost per mil. So we have a target cost per mil bid. So it's basically telling you how much you're willing to spend for 1,000 impression. You're not going to spend more than that. Okay, so you can only spend less or the same as you have selected. Okay, so you can only spend below 60 cents per 1,000 impressions. Okay, now the higher your bid, the more wealthy countries you will target. That's it. So if you want to target US, 60 cents per mil is never going to work. You would have to use at least like 4.5, something like that. Sometimes you can even get it down to 3 or 2.5, but usually to target the US market, you have to keep it above $2 per 1,000 impressions. Okay, and as you remember, we have already looked at it in the previous lectures where we discussed about cost per mils based on countries, on different countries, and so that's what I'm talking about. So if we want to instead get a lot of views, a lot of impressions from countries that we do not need conversions at all, like if we can really target countries that have a very cheap cost per mil, and they will give us a lot of impressions, a lot of views. So if you're trying to build some social proof, okay, but remember, this is just social proof, it's not gonna drive conversions. Okay, not many conversions. Okay, so if you want to have a lot of social proof, if you want to have 100,000 views on YouTube, okay, then you can go and have a CPM or even like $1, okay, €1 or even less. Like as you have seen in my campaigns that I have only a 60 cents cost per mil, I just have selected 0.80 for the sake of transparency. And as I can say, if Google is able to bring a lower price to you, if they're able to give you like a discount, they will, do it for you, but they will never gonna give you a higher CPM of what you have selected. Okay, I just want that to be clear. So in this case, we select 0.8 euro CPM bid, and what we will do next is we are going to paste our video URL. So in this case, just go to my YouTube channel and click here to copy the video link, go back here, paste the URL, and then it's going to ask me a very important question. Do you want it to keep it as a skippable in-stream ad or a bumper ad? As you can see, we cannot use a video discovery ad because it is not a because as we have seen before, we're not allowed based on what we have selected before. Okay, so this cannot go into the search results. So as we've seen, the bumper ad is what is going to be for the 6 seconds or less. So this, as you can see, this video is not a good fit for it. So I would have to completely change the video. I would have to select another one. And to be honest, I don't really like to use this bumper ad because, yeah, they are less expensive usually, but I prefer them to view the entire video of more than a minute long, because I do believe that advertising on YouTube requires you to have a video which is more than 1 minute. Okay, because you are able usually to provide so much more value and get more conversions. Okay, so 1 to 2 minutes usually is the sweet spot. So I usually like to select the skippable in-stream ad, okay, which is the one that we normally have, which is the one that counts the view, remember, over 30 seconds of view through rate. So if you look at 29 seconds, it's not going to be counted as a true view, so it's not going to be billing you. And that's the thing, you're gonna select the final URL, which I already selected before. That's why you can see it here, display URL. And then you're gonna have the call to action, which is like join us. And for example, and then you go here and you can select the headline, 3 spots, I don't know, available. You can create some social proof. Actually I cannot because it's only 15 characters, so I can say, I don't know, like today only 20% discount. Let's just do like that, and it asks you to do URL options, but I never like to do this. Basically, it is for tracking, and I never like to do it. And then it asks you whether you want to use an auto-generated using your channel banner, or you want to upload an image. Okay, usually it's better to upload your own image. Okay, so you can go in there and select the preferred image. In this case, I'm just going to do this for the sake of clarity. So as you can see, it gives me this auto-generated image, which is a like, by the way, which I like it, by the way. So then you can click on preview ad on YouTube. It's really nice because you can see it will start to, you see this is a demo view, and then it will start, towards the end. This is just a video preview, so it will just tell you how it's going to be like, right? But until it's launched, it's not going to. And then it asks you based on the Google Video Partners. But remember, we did not select the video partners, so we will not have this option for us. Okay, then we can change the preview type, and that's it. So we are going to add the name of it. So the ad name. So we're gonna call it ad number 1. We just create campaign, and it is done. We're just gonna go to continue to campaign. So basically you can say congratulations, your campaign is ready, and that's it. You review your campaign settings, that's it. Here's a summary, pretty much bidding of 0.8 euros, and there you go. You go with the ad number 1, skippable in-stream, placements, topics, keywords. As you can see, we have only selected placements, any topic, any keywords, any audience, any age. As you can see, only males, because usually they're the ones more into this motorsport niche. So having said that, we can go to campaigns, and it's going to show us now. It's going to say not eligible until it is reviewed. Okay, once it is reviewed, it will be starting to work. Okay, so we're gonna go back to our Google Ads home page, and you can see it is video ad number 1, and it's waiting. You see it's pending here, so it's waiting. So the status is pending, so it's waiting for it to be confirmed. Now I'm going to pause it, and then I will work on it later and decide whether I want to really launch it or not. But as I said, I hope that was useful, guys, and please let me know if you have got any questions. And that's it. It is not that easy. Sorry, it's not that hard. You can do it. It's pretty simple. And the only thing you can do, you have to create a good video. Okay, create a good video, upload it, and then just find the great placements or keywords or topics to target, and that will really make it a good. Of course, you need to have a great offer as well, so that you can drive conversions. And having said that, I'll see you soon.